This is Hayden from S8CTV. Today I'm very lucky to be joined here in Newcastle for the first time by Adam Booth. Adam, how are you doing today?
Good, you?
I'm doing brilliant, thank you. So obviously, we're here, Josh Kelly, Flavius Biea. With Josh, how did this fight all sort of come about for him?
We look for someone with a good record and a ranking because there were no domestic fights being accepted and this fella's name got up.
So sort of with Flavius, how much do you sort of know about him and what sort of fight are you expecting come Friday night?
Well, in style-wise I know enough because I've seen enough, but he's going to certainly be a lot more determined than he's been in any other fight because this is his world title, and so I expect him to be aggressive, to try and force the pace, to try and mimic what David Avanesian did because that's the only fella that's managed to beat Josh. So I expect him to push it, try, and look to try and put the pressure on.
Definitely. Obviously, it was said up on the stage there, Nissa was alluding to the fact that a few UK super welterweights have turned down the fight against Josh.
We tried to make domestic fights with super welters and middles, but didn't come off, and we've exhausted that avenue, so it's now time to look elsewhere.
How frustrating has that sort of been? Obviously Josh was last out in September, a good win against a tough Ishmael Davis, probably want to get back out straight away. How frustrating has that sort of been?
Very, but it's part of the business. It's not the first time I've gone through a frustrating period where you can't get the fights that you want, but it's for Josh now to kick the door down and make things happen even more.
I suppose sort of reflecting on that fight in September against Ishmael Davis, massive stage at Wembley Stadium. It was initially meant to be Liam Smith. With Ishmael and Josh, how did you sort of feel that fight went, and is there anything in Josh's game you maybe feel it can improve going into this one?
It was a tricky fight because we'd finished all the training for a completely opposite style to the one that Ishmael presented. Ishmael also has got long arms, he boxes orthodox, southpaw, front foot and back foot. So it was just one of those tricky fights. It was tricky for the pair of them, but I thought they both performed well. I thought Josh won comfortably. Put that in the bag, move on, and the experience was that he was able to adapt with no notice, basically, the same way that Ishmael did.
One thing that was sort of alluded to on the stage there was this is potentially the fight before a world title fight. Obviously not looking past Flavius Biea, but where do you sort of want to see Josh going if he was to get the win on Friday night?
Hang on, so until you're a world champion, every fight is a fight before a world title fight, and that's how he has to look at it. Like he has to kick down the door, and he knows full well that if he doesn't do a job and perform on Friday, nothing else matters. So we can talk to a blue in the face about what might be in the future, but there's no point. So we're just focused on Flavius Biea and nothing else.
Definitely. Then last one for me, Adam, I want to ask you, with the fight against Flavius Biea with Josh, what sort of fight are you expecting and how do you see it going come Friday night?
Well, I expect Flavius to try and take the distance and pressure him because he can't stand up and box him, that's for sure. And Josh knows how to deal with that, and I know what he's going to do, but I'm not going to tell you because you've got to see it on Friday night.
Definitely. Adam, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. Cheers.